Well, the San Francisco 49ers pull out a 28-16 victory here in Week 14 over the Seattle Seahawks. Let's talk about it. I mean, a lot of different things that went on in this game. You start from the top to the bottom. 49ers didn't start off strong. Brock Purdy, he started 3 of 6, 44 yards, an interception. I mean, you had the early drive from McCaffrey, the 72, 73-yard carry before the Mason touchdown that kind of led things for the 49ers. But then you have a period where you're stalling. Seattle kind of comes out on top. They end up leading 10-7, but then everything's flipped after that. Brock Purdy finished the game 16 of 21 for 322 yards, 2 touchdowns, a pristine performance onwards after, those early mistakes. Pristine performance onward from Brock Purdy. A lot of nice throws, including a couple of deep ones, one to Brandon Ayuk, one to Deebo Samuel, another nice layered throw to Brandon Ayuk. Unfortunately, he fumbled on the play. He had a couple of really solid throws from Brock Purdy in this one, further cementing his MVP case as he finished with a career-high 368 yards in this game. A really good performance. But offensively, I think what you're seeing is the evolution of this offense. Deebo Samuel is returning to 2021 levels of Deebo Samuel in terms of his explosiveness and the effort that he's playing with. It's pretty clear that Deebo Samuel right now is playing at a very high level. You see in his last 4 games, he has outputs of 63 yards, 79 yards, 116 yards, and 149 yards. Some monster games that replicated what he had at the beginning of the season. It was intriguing how the 49ers wide receiver dynamic would go this season, because it was clear Brandon Ayuk was going to establish himself as the #1 guy. But Deebo Samuel has put himself right back into the fold, showcasing how he can still be that elite player that he was before. And I think this leads to some intriguing conversations at the end of the season in regards to his trade value, but also his value to the team and when the 49ers have to make some crucial decisions regarding extensions for players like Brandon Ayuk. But on this game specifically, the 49ers spread the ball out significantly to all of their skill position players. When you talk about balance, one thing I've learned from coaches is you're trying to put the ball in your best players' hands, and that's exactly what San Francisco did. Christian McCaffrey, he had 145 yards on the ground. Then you have Deebo Samuel up there with a ton of receiving yards, over 100. Brandon Ayuk over 100 receiving yards. George Kittle over 76 receiving yards. That's a bulk of your production going to your 4 top players, and the 49ers were able to evenly distribute it, kind of get the opportunities out there for everybody, create plays for everybody, and you see all of these different openings that Kyle Shanahan's able to create in Seattle's cover 3 defense led to a lot of explosive plays, led to some short plays, just a variety of plays that led to the 49ers' dominance on Sunday. It wasn't all pretty, like I said. The 49ers struggled a little earlier. I think you could have seen a little bit of a better performance. But the point is, even when the 49ers don't play their best, they're still able to win by double digits. This is their 5th consecutive double-digit victory since coming out of the bye week. A pretty dominant start to the second half of the season. And they face the Arizona Cardinals next week. Want to talk a little bit about the defense as well. When you look defensively at this one, 49ers started a little slow as well. They give up 10 points, but I thought really, even on that drive where they gave up a field goal, that's where things started to turn. You allow only a field goal on that drive, despite Seattle driving, and then from there on, it's only 6 points. They were able to get to Drew Lock 4 times, kind of shut things down after DK Metcalf had that early touchdown, which was really just a good ball from Drew Lock over good coverage from Ambry Thomas. And I think the defense just, you see them sometimes maybe give up a few early points, settle in, and then just shut things down. They've allowed under 15 points a game in the second half of the season. That continued today, only 16 points allowed. And I think the 49ers defense is also a key reason why they're dominant. Because when you have complementary offense and complementary defense, like the way the 49ers are playing, you control the pace of the game, you control time of possession, and you're able to put up a ton of yards and trust both sides of the field. One quick thing, thought it was interesting at the end of the first half where Kyle Shanahan was conservative. 2 times I thought he was conservative. You talk about that drive that the 49ers had where they punted. You had a 1st and 15 after a false start. Shanahan elected to run the football, and then that drive itself where they end up punting 2 plays later, thought he was just a little conservative, conservative with the first down run and then trying to play, the field position game. But what didn't make sense is after Shanahan plays the field position game, pins Seattle inside their 10-yard line, they then get a penalty, are on 2nd down and I think 13 at their 5-yard line. Shanahan has a chance to take a timeout, elects not to, and the 49ers essentially go to the half despite having good field position, having all 3 of their timeouts, and a chance to score with Seattle getting the ball down 14-10 coming out of the half. That was the one intriguing thing. Does it change the outcome of the game? Not really. But overall, another dominant win for the 49ers. They were able to secure their 10th win of the season, and currently they're in number 1. They're the number 1 seed in the NFC. Obviously, that depends on how Philly and Dallas play tonight. If Philly wins, Philly reclaims number 1. If Dallas wins, San Francisco is the number 1 seed. That is something that they're going to look to carry over to next week against the Arizona Cardinals. Stay tuned, though, for the coverage over on Niners Nation, as well as on the channel. We got you guys covered.